is working. Wow, we're live. This is gonna be so much fun. Oh, we're breaking way too much right now. Okay, I need to hurry up. This took way too much time. I don't know why this distracted me so bad. And this is like the most important time of day. Oh, it is working. Wow, we're live. Oh, this is gonna be so much fun. I need to not listen to myself. There we go. How do I turn this off? There we go. Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know how I have a mechanical keyboard, so it's gonna probably be super loud. Okay. Where are we gonna get started? I don't even know where to start right now. There's a lot of really massive flips. Dougie, how do I make you a moderator? I don't know how to do any of that, but okay, I want to make sure you guys can see the screens, and then we can kind of get like right into it. I just want to make sure that this doesn't mess up any of my other screens, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, I think it should be fine, but I'm like trying to toggle back and forth. I should probably check this on my phone actually, because then I can make sure it actually works. There's also a bit of a lag, so that kind of sucks, but okay, sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Click your name. Okay. Thanks, Dougie. Hi, Apollo. Okay. I have a lot of trades on right now, so I want to make sure that I don't like miss anything. But for starters, ES today, this is our big flip day. So as you guys are already aware, this is the day that we can potentially try to negate the downside. It's really relative to how much range we're going to actually guess. So the biggest aspect of today, though, I think was breaking out probably over, like if you're looking at like 23 hour, 24 hour, for instance, it's really just breaking back over this range in here, which we just took out. It was ideal to take it out by noon. Our first big flip was at 11:48, and we were able to achieve that break of that range. So this is really clean. We had some really big times of day coming up right now, so I just want to make sure that we're noting these closer to like 12:07, 12:08. I have to go back and double check, but this is durational till, I think what I noted earlier was 12:38, 12:48, and then 1 o'clock. We should get a continuation on the day, but it's going to be very relative to what happens around 12:38 and 1. So that's going to be a time that we really have to analyze. The big idea for today, though, is what I wanted to see us do is I wanted to see us hold core areas overnight, which we did. So let's go back here. I'll cover CCL in a second, too. So core areas held overnight. Anyone that follows me knows that this can imply that we could get a core-to-core day. They back tested and they never ever went below or breach. So this was really good. So this is something I noted this morning as strong price action ahead of the open. Definitely a bit choppy to start it off, but it's kind of just been a continual grind, because if we are going to get full range today, then I would expect it to be a slow grind until we finally accelerate. So acceleration periods would potentially occur late day and maybe as early as 12:38, 1 o'clock. So for now, all we're looking for was the break of 43.95.96, and then that bigger structure break of 43.97.98. This chart's insane. I know this is like my this is my crazy ES chart, so don't look at it. But 43.97.50, this was really the bigger breaker. We want to retest 44.04 today. Like that's really the big area. 44.08, sorry. So last time we tested that range, those that are in the Discord know we failed right off 44.08 the day before, and then that caused us to negate the upside and then continue down until we back tested core ratios at 43, 43.68, 43.71. So considering we held those ranges, I think there's a very high probability. Anyone that follows me closely would know that today would be our bigger potential range day. Ideally, we want to try getting back to 44.22.75. 44.44 would be like a crazy max range. I'm not really sure if we'd achieve that. I'd have to check and see what kind of price action we get closer to that 12:38, 12:48, 1 p.m. range. But for now, we're still in play. This achieved proper point of price right in time. So like these price points that we're hitting right here, right when we cleared, this was perfect timing. So in that aspect, I think we still are in play to potentially test the 44.0708. CCL, so just kind of watch and see if we come back. CCL, we were looking for that break over 15.55. This one we took long yesterday. I'm going to show you guys something. Like this is something you could probably document, but I wanted to see if this thing kind of cleared off that 3 hour. There's a bit of an imbalance gap right here. I don't know if you guys can see that, like right in here. So when I checked pre-market and it had that very first opening range stick at 4, I don't know if you guys see this, right above that 1460 mark, right back in here, this implied that I could get that retest. So this interacted and took out the high yesterday of that 1650, which puts us back into play of potentially retesting and getting the full range. CCL is one of my swing trades. This is the one that we took long off this range breakdown here and then back in here. These are our first major targets, but the wider range, we've been looking for that $17.58 to $18 mark. So today is really a huge day for it to see if it tries to cancel any of this downside from its past earnings break. But in terms of intraday range today, I was looking to see if we can actually break that 1650 and potentially even get the range of, I know it sounds kind of crazy, but it is in play if we get that continuation back up to 1669, 1642. We did break it on day of earnings. If you go back and check, yesterday we actually did hit 1650. So it keeps our spots in play. I would say this is about 75% of the range already, maybe a little bit more. So let me see. Not quite. We're almost there. It's like 1585 or so. Delta, another one of my swing trades. This one I've been long for a while. This one we took long back in here. I had to roll out my 37 calls that expired on June 16th. So what we did was we rolled them out back in here into July 21st, because our bigger range target on this is 47. So I would love if we can get to 47 today on Delta. I don't think we will today unless market really expands. Like if market gives us that full range, then we're going to get that nice clean break. But this is a really big overhead right here, like 45.52. These are kind of my bigger ranges though. I definitely want to try getting to like 47.19, 47.42. These are my wider range targets. And then depending on how much range we get into July, I was kind of targeting the range back in here. So airline swings are working out extremely nicely. Trying to think of what else we were trading intraday today. Intel had a big flip today too. So this one had a potential of getting back over the 34.65, 34.74 range. Probably want to mark 33.84 for anyone that's trading that. I'm probably only going to focus on the things that I'm trading though. So I'm not really looking at like doing any like Q&A or anything like that, because I am trading. So I also want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Thank you. I did share those to Twitter a few times and on a few spaces like 3-4 weeks ago. Actually kind of funny. I was actually on this one spaces a few weeks back, and I got a little bit of heat for the airline plays, and they're like, all right, is it like a fundamental play, or how can you swing airlines? I'm like, I mean, it's really not that big a deal. Something like CCL, for instance, off of 4-day, this thing is negating. So this is trying to cancel any of this downside here. This flip today continues till July 3rd. 5-day flip today continues till July 5th. So this is where we could see that continuation pattern on some of these names. Something like CCL, our bigger targets on this were 19 for the months of July and August. And it kind of makes sense in terms of like the seasonality of the trade too. Do you know what I mean? So we'll have to see. I stopped tracking, so I'm going to need help from my Discord tracking today. Probably need some help tracking. I have to go back and double check everything, but I think on CCL it was more like we wanted to see the kind of price action we got at. CCL was definitely 12, right? Yeah, we want to take out ranges by noon. You can see the really clean stick breaks here at 1201, 1205. Probably have to go back and vet that. Actually, I can vet it on my other chart. So a lot of these downside ranges negated, which is really good. Oh yeah, it was 1206. So this is good. If that flip was 1206 and this broke at 1205, that's a stick break ahead of the flip, which is super strong. Idea for this week though, oh, I guess the only sectors I haven't really talked about is materials. We took FCX long. You could definitely do a few others though, like steel and copper getting some really nice plays. Some of the options were X, FCX, CLF, Alcoa. Doesn't really matter. The idea with this, so we did FCX and CLF long yesterday. Idea for it was we could see a potential break with a lot of housing numbers this week. Also some sector shifts, you know, out of semis and techs. So that's actually working out super nicely. I can probably cover FCX. This one actually hasn't broken too much range today, so probably still some more room for upside, but idea on this was, again, a lot of these are like off 5-day ranges. Market just had some time to digest for a few days. And you can see today, 27th, this is a flip day for materials today too. So there's a ton of flips on the market today. It's kind of insane how much flips the market had today. So Apple, these were my range breaks on Apple. These are actually pretty precise. Off 186.99, 187.05. 1224 was our next flip on ES, so this is really good. So we're watching for 1224, 1230, 1238. 1238 we have to make a really big note of. Someone can even type them in the chat too. 1224 was next flip on that. I think Brendan's gone. Brendan's gone this afternoon, guys, so someone else has to help me. He had to step away for a bit, so probably need someone else to help me track. No, I don't think the chat's getting out of hand. I think everyone's just hanging out in there. I don't think anyone's saying anything. This is really good clearance here, by the way. This clearing right here, specifically at 1224, 1225, that's perfect in terms of getting the potential range. So do you guys understand what we're trying to achieve? We're trying to achieve 4408 as early as 1238, okay? If that can achieve as early as 1238, then we have a very high probability of getting max range today. Do you understand what I'm saying? 1224, 1225 breaking at this time of day. These are our big flip sticks. Do you guys see this? Look at our flips. This is going to help in terms of range today, okay? So this kind of keeps everything intact. So if we get specific price points being met at a specific time, right? That's going to expand us essentially on the session today. So someone maybe note that in the Discord. 1224, 1225 flips getting the range to 4404, 4402. Izzy's looking to see if we can get 4408 retest. The earliest was 1232. I'm not really thinking we can get that, but 1237, 1238 would be ideal. And then we have the extended ranges closer to 1248 and 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock would be kind of a max extension. Ideally, I want to get there by 1. Otherwise, that can imply some volatility this afternoon. Caesar, can you do me a huge favor? You know everything I sent? Can you send me updates on those? So I don't have to go back and forth typing like through like 3 different screens. Like, can you pull in all of these? I could do it really fast, but I'd probably kill people's ears typing. I need flips on these. I need to know if you can vet those. And even these, like what we were using before. And I need to know the ranges too, like the number. So, I mean, I can look at it really quick too, but. $12.42. 1240, 1242, 1240. $12.54. What is this? I think this one was our primary, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. Oh, 104. And $12.54. That's definitely it. 12.54. I think that's what we said earlier. There's a lot of confluence around that time of day. 12.54. I already got most of it. So you're good, Caesar, if you're busy, don't worry. Sometimes it's just easier for me to type it. I think that's it. 12:59, I mean, is like, we already know like around 1 o'clock, so it's not really a big deal. But I mean, I guess we could note it. And $12.48. So it's pretty much just a waiting game right now, because we're just looking to see the kind of ranges we can get by those specific times. Specifically for this. If you guys were actually following along from last week, 4408's actually where we tapped at 1:40 p.m. I had a Fed before they reversed us back. That was the overhead. 4408, 4412 is kind of what puts us back in a bullish neutral range. You can think of it like as a zone area sort of thing. I need someone to track though the Caesar, if you can do me one favor. Like those I don't have memorized right now. I wish I did, but I don't. And the only reason I don't is because I have way too many other plays going on today. If I didn't have all these other plays going on today, then it would be so much easier to track. Yes, that's a single stick break there on Delta at 45.52. This is a huge break for 12:30 on this specific name. I don't know if anyone in here is going to help me track Delta today. JT, can you be on Delta since you're trading it with me anyway? Can you help me with that? Please. Like I can give you an idea of what I was kind of looking at earlier. but I'm definitely going to need some help. And Brendan and Hassan are busy today, so I need other people to help me. Especially if streaming. So we definitely want to see if it can clear that. So when I say clear, I mean I want to see if it can actually open above, clear above that specific range. Seeing like definitely around like 1240, 1248 for Delta. Maybe just note some of that though. Okay, and that would be hitting its expansion or exhaustion bar at that time of day too. So if Delta breaks this specific spot here around that time of day, that's going to be a huge expansion stick, because that's the earliest time of day that this thing can exhaust or expand. If it does actually fully expand, that's when we can start getting the range breaks to 46, 46.27, 46.67, probably between 1240, 1248 and 2 o'clock on Delta. We're getting pretty close to breaking 4404 on ES. I just want to see what happens close to 37.38. These are pretty crucial times of day. Definitely not a day that you want to start to exhaust, or like a time that you want to start to exhaust, because that can imply some volatility. It wouldn't be a bad thing if we got early day exhaustion, okay, as long as we met specific price points before then. So if we hit those price points at 1 o'clock or before 1, then I don't really care if we consolidate for an hour or two. Do you understand what I'm saying? Thank you, Dougie. Honestly, I don't think we have anything to worry about. Everyone in here is being like pretty polite. I think most people are just listening. These are the kind of range breaks we want to see on Delta specifically at this time, because we 100% want to see us potentially expand. That would be ideal. Especially through now. Okay. So this is the earliest time of day that we could test 4406, 4408, okay? Specifically, if we can at least break 4404 on the 37.38 mark, okay? This is going to be pretty important to understand exactly how much range we're going to get on the entire session today, around this time of day. So let's see if we can actually start breaking some range here. It would be really nice to get some clearing sticks at 37.38. Max extensions we had was till 1, 12.54, 12.48 being some really crucial times. I don't think that we can hit that range as early as 12.38, but I do think that we can try getting there ahead of 1. Yeah, thanks, Dougie. I appreciate you. This is the stick break that we want to see take out 4404. There it is, 37. So write this down, because this is really important for price action, specifically at this point of price. Okay? I want to see if we can at least try clearing this range in here. Like, even if we can at least touch 4406 4408's likely closer to ranges around 1254, 1 o'clock. That's the first opening stick above 4404 at 1238, taking out the intraday high range. Caesar, if you're on your laptop, don't worry. It's okay. I got it. Don't worry. You're good. There it is. There's a 1238 stick. So let's see if we can get 4406 on this. It sounds crazy, but if we can touch 4406 on this 38 stick, that's really going to help our scenario today. Okay, this is the exact point in price and time that you want to hit. 1238 tapping 4406. 1238's tapping 4406. This is really, really good for our PA to extend us on a full break. Wow. That's the kind of price action we want to see. So this is technically the earliest time that we can touch 4408. It's not really as likely, but 4406 is enough. We don't need to get full range. That's a beautiful stick at 1238. That's exactly the kind of price action you want to see to potentially expand our range on the session today. Delta is still in its expansion period. So you guys know what that means. An expansion trade means it's going to keep on running until it finally hits that, probably closer to like 1248, 1251 is when I'll reassess on Delta. Do you guys see that 1238 stick? Wow, that was insane. Look at how clean this is. It's not just about the price though, or the time, it's the price, right? That had to break the specific range. So 1254 and 1 o'clock is definitely the big time of day. So I think that there's a pretty decent likelihood. We had some ranges here at 1240. What was it? 1242. Can someone just reply back to the messages I sent? It's really hard to toggle between like 3 screens. 1242, 1240. Those are smaller ranges. So these aren't really like huge confluence zones, I guess you could call them, in terms of like 1242 and 1240. They're not going to decipher the range that we get. Okay, not like the 1238 stick. This stick here is far more important than 1240, 1242. Like this specific stick right here has to hit a specific price at that time. Okay, if it doesn't, then that can definitely lead to some short-term exhaustion. You could take some off here and de-risk if you'd like. I'm staying long because I went long off my core spots at 44.30, 43.71 and 6.8. But if you want to take some off here intraday, that's probably not a bad call. I'm trying to give this at least till 1 o'clock to see whether or not we can at least try tapping our huge overhead area. 44.22 would be insane if we can get that range today. Keep in mind, today's our big flip day on the market. Intel set an alert for 33.84. Dougie, go to sleep. Dougie, don't worry. No one's going to troll me. No one's going to troll me. What are they going to troll me for? So I usually don't let people watch me trade in real time because I feel like it goes over a lot of people's heads and then they're just like, what? And I really don't want to be answering questions when I'm trading in real time. So just try to enjoy it, I guess. If we get full range today, I am going to be extremely happy. Like if we can get full range today, that would be super nice. I feel like I need like 6 monitors if I'm gonna stream. Let's see. For those that I sent, Caesar, can you look at these? Or actually, you know what? I can see it on here. 1240, 1245. What does that say? 1248. These are for Delta, right? Delta was 1248, no? 12. Pretty sure this is what it was for Delta in terms of like expanding range on session today. That's the same for ES though too. CCL, I don't even know. I'm not even tracking CCL. CCL is just like a breakout trade from yesterday, so I don't really care to track it in real time. The Dapster setup is insane. I've met Dapster in real life. His setup is insane. Like, I don't know if I could do that. This is a pretty crucial spot here for Intel. So Intel, we're looking for a break back to 3465, 3474, especially if markets get that continued range break right here. This is the closest range we're getting here, 1244 at 4408. So that's a first stick test at 1243. Can you write that down? This is pretty important. That's early, so this is good. 4408 testing at 1243.44. That's really good because then that gives us potential to get our clearance break. And when I say clearance break, I mean I really want to take out these ranges all in like one single stick. Hopefully before 1248, because then that can really expand our range. We're looking for 4422, 4444 today if we can get specific breaks at this time of day. That's the kind of price action you want to see around this time. And this is kind of what gave that conviction at 1238 that we're going to get straight continuation, hopefully till 1 o'clock, okay? We want to make sure that we're really monitoring 1254 and 1 o'clock because this should be, so what I mean by that is if we get that stick break at 1238, it would be ideal if we can just see this, okay? Like 1248 is the earliest flip, but we want to see like if we can get like a nice clean range break, 1254, maybe 1 o'clock. We want to see what point in price we're trading at by 1 o'clock. That's going to be so crucial. See if we can clear over 4408 by 1247.48. This is kind of the plan and idea in terms of getting our big stick break at 1238. We want to see straight continuation. Because there is a chance that we could get stuck in some ranges after 1. So it's really important that we break back over these spots here ahead of 1 o'clock. 4408, 4412. Someone write that in the chat. 4408, 4412. Those are really the big areas we want to hit ahead of 1 o'clock. We want to be closed above those ranges before 1 o'clock hits. There, that was a clearance break on Intel. I'm not tracking Intel today. Delta, we're definitely going to watch over the next 2 to 3 minutes. I think Brendan helped me write some of this stuff down earlier, which I kind of stopped watching myself, but it was 1224, 1248. 1245 was one of our smaller ranges. 104. Don't forget to jot down 104. These are some of the small ranges. This one had confluence on this specific time. So this is the earliest time that we could start to exhaust, okay? 47, 48. So you could see some volatility start coming in at this time. I really hope we don't exhaust and that they can just push it through these ranges right here, because then if we do, then we should see some continuation push through 1254 and 1 o'clock. it would be nice to get a volatility stick on that 48 mark. Where's Delta? Did I close that? I muted my mic so that you guys wouldn't have to hear me type. Because people always complain when I type and have my mic on. You can kind of see the slight exhaustion coming in on Delta. Just a little bit. So this is a minute delayed stick. That's fine. Okay, it's not awful, but we really want to see it push ahead of 12:54, 1 o'clock. So let's see if we can get some nice breaks here for the market. 44.12 would be ideal. 44.1075 is probably a good mark that you should mark. It's because if we start seeing any slight signs of exhaustion here, it'll start to delay the trade. So this is the earliest time of day that you can actually exhaust a little bit. Yeah, CCL didn't break though in terms of range. Delta did start exhausting a little bit, but we'll see if it tries to get that push through at 12:51. Is it a new high of day though? I don't think it took out the high. No, it didn't. It got stuck right at 1580. I think 1580 though, Caesar was that range. When I went back and actually retraced it, I'm pretty sure it was like 1580. Yeah, it's like 1585 or something. You see that? So there's definitely some overhead here. Slight exhaustion coming in for the market. 12:48, 12:47 is the earliest time that we can slightly exhaust. Yeah, you're good. See if we can actually get some push through though. 12:51, I think we were watching for Delta, but I could be wrong. At this point, there's just too much to manage. Intel got its stick breaks directly to 33.84 and 87. So in general, though, when looking at the market, a lot of things are hitting a very crucial range. So think of it like the market works in thirds and fourths, right? So if you're already hitting about 75% of your range for the vast majority of the market, or at least what we're trading today, then it kind of gives that I guess confluence or conviction that if they're going to expand range right now, it would make sense that it would do it at this point in price. And that goes beyond ES. I'm talking about CCL, Intel, Delta. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, these are really big price points on a lot of these individual names as well. So it's not just specific to indices, or this is what we want to see. Because I would love if we broke ahead of 12:54. Like, if we can get stick breaks at 52 and 3 ahead of the flip, that would be so ideal. Yeah, 1585 and 80 or so. Look at the stick break coming in at 52. This is really good for the market right here, especially ahead of the 54 flip. We want 52 and 53 to see some strength. That was very, 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 very strong exhaustion. Honestly, like, this hardly exhausted. So that's a good sign. Because if 12:47 and 48 is the earliest that we can try to exhaust, that was not even longer than a 2-minute exhaustion period. Probably 3 minutes max. And we kind of flagged up now on the 3-minute, which is really clean. For a break ahead of 1254, 4410, 4412. Those would be some really big areas that we want to try hitting, specifically on this 1253 stick. Okay? 1253, 1254. These are going to be just as important as we had for 3738. See if we can get the point in price break. I'm also being very cautious, guys, at this time, just because I know that if we don't get these specific range breaks, I know that we could technically consolidate for a little bit this afternoon. If we can hit this point in price, this is kind of, I guess, what you'd call like a very bullish neutral price point off the 4408, 4410, 4412. It's kind of like a neutral zone. 4409.75 is tapping at 1253. I really want to see if we can at least get 4410.75 at 1254. Yeah, don't forget to document 104 too, Caesar, because that's kind of like a small little extended break. Because we could still exhaust at 1254, right, if we don't get these stick breaks. 4409.75 so far is struggling a bit at 1254. Remember, these are the earliest periods that market could show some exhaustion, so you really have to make sure you're watching price. That's why I said I'm being a little bit cautious, because I know that there is a potential that, especially if we don't break ahead of time. So it would have been more ideal that we broke to 4410 on the 53 stick to avoid some volatility coming in at 1254. Do you understand what I'm saying? It still has range until 104, but it starts to get a lot more, like volatility starts to get way more implied. You'd have to see a cancellation stick almost immediately to try to cancel any potential continued downside. You don't want that downside lasting longer than typically a minute or two. So 1254 volatility stick. That definitely showed a little bit more exhaustion than our 1249.48 stick for sure. Meaning that this range of supply and demand is pretty heavy. Yeah, so we want to see it push basically to attempt to negate this stick. What do you guys think? You think it pushes to 44.12 ahead of 1 o'clock? Or you think they're going to exhaust at 12.54, consolidate? Consolidation this afternoon, as long as it holds probably over 43.97.98, then it should be fine. But I can see the slight exhaustion starting to show up a little bit, like the slightly. Huge areas for intraday covering spots too. So if you want to document that, Caesar, you can document 4409.75. No break of 4410 ahead of 54. So this is a slightly wider range for exhaustion. Hence the importance of covering at 53. I could tell that the weakening of the stick at 53 likely wasn't going to break. They can still negate this downside. Like, for instance, they could still try to do this and then still try to bring it back up at 1, but we're just being mindful here. CCL still kind of stuck. These were Dow's flips at 51.52. It tried to break at 52 and made a lower high, so we'll have to check back at 1 o'clock for Delta. Do you guys see the slight exhaustion coming in at 12.54? So had this been the case, if this had broke just a little bit higher on this 53 stick, you would have saw the inverse price action happen. You would have seen this do basically the same range down. It would have done the same range up. So let's say, for instance, the 3.5 points. That would have probably giving us our 3.5 points back up to 44.13, 44.12. This is why these are major covering areas and times of day. 1254 major covering stick on the failure to break a 44.10 ahead of time. They can still try to push around 104. What time is it? 58. Thanks, Stacy. I'll give you guys my analysis once 1 o'clock passes here. I just need to focus on some stuff. Hold on a sec. This is the attempt to negate, okay? Ahead of 1 o'clock. So we still hit 44.08, which is really good, okay? 44.12 would have been better. That gives us a little bit more range on the session today. So just the fact that we never hit 44.12, okay, ahead of 12.54 in my brain, that reduces range on the session today, okay? So, and it could reduce it by, you know, whether it's like 5 points, 6 points, whatever the case scenario is, I'm going to know that it's going to reduce range. So we're still in play for potential continuation because of the fact that we still broke 44.08, and specifically at the 12.38, 12.40 marks. But in terms of like getting full max range, that's likely that's not going to happen today. I don't think so. But we could still be in play for, you know, the ranges back to like 44.15, 44.22. 44.29, those could definitely still be in play based on the fact that we still got this really clean range break of 44.08. Can you write this down, Caesar? 1 o'clock stick closing just below 44.08, 44.0750. That's not really an ideal close. That's not an ideal close for 1 o'clock. We'll have to see, I guess, if they can try to hold structure by 103, 104, because that was our extended period. But exhaustion coming in right at 53, 54 is definitely like that. You can definitely see that coming in strong at that time. Guess we'll have to see whether or not they can hold range here at 44.06. Yeah, so like basically, like, remember the ranges we talked about this morning? That's likely not going to happen. But we're still in play for potential mid-ranges today for sure. We still hit 44.08. That was really the big spot. Do you want to double check Delta based off what I said? I don't remember exactly. I think well, Delta was, it was this here, Caesar. I found it 1252. And that was the failure of the lower high. So we want to see if they're going to try pushing it back at 103, 104, okay? And when I say pushing it back, I'm talking about trying to negate this 1254 stick. Okay, this would be the time of day to do so. If that's the case, that could definitely keep this in play. I just have to focus on one other position. Just give me a second. It is 1259 for Delta. And this here. What do you guys think? You think they can try pushing that back at the 04 mark? And what can happen here too, like make a note of this, this could also be the time of day where they put in a lower high, right? So if they can't break the range here, if they put in a lower high right here, right, then we would essentially consolidate for anywhere as long as like 60, probably like 65 to 90 minutes, depending. But we hit the range that we needed to hit ahead of the spot that we had for intraday. So that's actually really good, because that can put that continued range in play for second half of the session today. So I want to see if they put a lower high in right here on the 104 stick. Make sure you guys took some off at the 4408 mark. These are huge spots. I mean, I wouldn't play against the trend. I would only say maybe a trap if we took out 40, 43, 97, 98, like I said. This would probably be more so a consolidation period, but let's see. In terms of range, yeah, we're pretty close to hitting 75% of the range though. Like, that was pretty close. It would have been better if we hit 44.11, 44.10. So typically markets can range sometimes too between like a mid mark, like 6.7, 6.8. So yeah, I'm not the kind of person that like fights against trends. This is the earliest time of day that we said it could exhaust, no? Right? We said 1253, 1254, earliest time for potential exhaustion if we don't achieve specific price points at that time, which we didn't, right? We hit 4408, we didn't hit 4410, 4411. And then second range for a potential to try to retrace would have been 0304, and that put in a lower high. So this is perfect in terms of market timing as we enter a period of potential consolidation. I think I'm going to close this stream off now so I can get back and focus on my positions too, because it's really hard to have like 4 different screens up because I'm trying to toggle back and forth between my broker and stuff too. But we've definitely entered a period of consolidation. Maybe I'll stream the last hour of the day. I think that could be good. So just be careful the next, probably like anywhere between as low as like 25 minutes and as high as potentially even like up to 95 minutes. So just be a little bit careful there, because I can see the exhaustion coming in just slightly. If they try to push this again, they can, but these aren't really areas that you want to try fighting with. More so for managing the position. But this was really perfect in terms of timing. You guys don't understand. Timing and price on this was essential. Like, had this broke, it would have been nice because we would have hit 44.12, and then we could have maybe had like some crazy range this afternoon. But we're still in play for potential range. I'm gonna start streaming on YouTube probably a little bit more, because I don't know why I don't utilize any of my platforms like ever. But we'll come back and check on this later in the session. Delta is actually still in play. I don't know who's in Delta, but Delta did hit a short-term exhaustion bar at 1240. And you can kind of see it hit the stick high at 1239. So maybe just keep Delta on watch again, probably after 130, 145. I still think that this one could also be in play for these ranges here today. But yeah, market definitely entered a period of slight exhaustion. So, all right, good luck.